Dawn Duvall with We Stamp. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and today I'm coming to you with this stamp set, Don't Stop Believin', and we're going to make a cute card using this elf and the plaid tidings designer series paper. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the card that we're going to be making. I am going to be using shaded spruce cardstock, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and fold this. Make sure that it's lined up and use our bone folder. We're just going to crease that score line just to give it a good crease. And we're going to open. I'm going to set my card up so it opens like this. Now this particular cut, you can open it like a book, but we're going to do it this way. All right, and then I'm taking a piece of 6 by 6 plaid tight designer series paper. I'm just going to lay this on here, and this is 5 1/4 by I think it's 3. Hang on a second, and I'll tell you. It is, yes, 3 inches by 5 1/4. So we're going to lay this right here on our card. Let me go ahead and let's go ahead and attach that now. And this paper is really nice. It's got different colors on each side. So this pack has got some good colors for, obviously for Christmas, but also for the, Thanksgiving and Halloween. Really versatile type of designer paper, and it's nice for making masculine cards as well. And it's perfect for the holidays. All right, so we're going to lay that right there. And then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take a strip and I'm going to lift this up just a little bit on the edges. I should have done that before I laid this down. I'm going to lift this up just a little bit because what I want to do is I'm going to place a piece of this ribbon right here, and I'm going to tuck it under the designer series paper. So I'm going to cut that like that. And what I'm going to do, and normally I would have done this before I put the paper on here, but that's all right. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to tuck this under since I do have adhesive there. And I think what I'll do is use my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to add a piece right there to help hold down that ribbon. So I'm going to push that down, and then this is going to come around, and we're going to tuck it under this side as well. And normally you're not going to do what I'm doing, but this is a way that you can do it. Especially if you use the Tombow, the liquid glue, you have plenty of time that you can move your paper before it actually seals. And I'm going to trim this up just a little bit because I don't want it too thick, okay? And again, I'm going to put some of my seal right here. So my ribbon will go on here, and then I'm going to tuck it under and then fold it. We're going to fold it under and then make sure that we've got it. And this ribbon is the, let's see, it is the embroidered ribbon. It's 3/8 of an inch, and it comes 10 yards in a bolt. All right, so we've got our ribbon on there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I punched out the stitched nested dies, and I went ahead and cut one out in Pretty Peacock, and then I did the next smaller one in the Whisper White. And I'm going to use our Memento Black ink and stamp our elf onto our Whisper White. So I'm going to set this off to the side for now, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up my elf. And normally when you're using the Memento ink or any type of ink pad that's linen, you want to twist a little bit so you make sure you get good coverage on your ink. And then I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to stamp him right in the center of this. And I'm going to just press it down. I like to let it sit just for a minute so the ink can disperse, and I'm going to cover up my black ink pad so I don't get ink all over. All right, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our Stampin' Blends, which will allow us to color our elf. And we're going to color him green, since elves are usually wearing green. And we'll put a little bit of red on him. So let's go ahead and get our real red Stampin' Blends. I've got light and dark. I'm also using the shaded spruce, light and dark. And then I'm going to use the ivory for his skin tone. All right, so let's go ahead and get our elf colored. So let's go ahead and pull in our green. And I'm just going to look at some areas that I'm going to use the dark. I'm going to use the darker tip, the smaller tip, which you can tell by the small line right here. And then this line is a fatter tip. And that is the same on our Stampin' Right markers as well. This is the darker color, and I'm just going to put a little darkness right here to do like some shading. So if the sun was coming in, you know, this way, there might be a little bit of shade right there. And then I'm going to come back with, now I'm going to use the smaller tip because I'm working in a small area. So I'm just going to try to pull this ink in and just blend, and I want to try to stay within the lines. Now we do have a color lifter if you do go outside of the lines, but okay, I think that looks good. Now let's go ahead and color his little bulbs here. We're going to color those in the red, and then I'm going to come back and color the bottom part silver, and I'm going to use the dark Stampin' Blend and just color these red balls. Now we're going to pull in and color his legs and his skin. Now we're going to come back with the dark, and I'm going to make this little guy right here, the plug, I'm going to make that part dark. And then we'll make these little silver things. Now, I think that's too dark. We'll just leave that one dark. The rest of them we're going to do the light. This is the light smoky slate. Let's take the dark smoky slate, and we're going to color his hair like he's got black hair. Hold this up and look at that. Make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, I think we're good. So we are going to attach this to here, and that's going to pull in those colors. Isn't that pretty? All right, so let's go ahead and add some adhesive to this, and then we're going to pop this up with dimensionals. Dimensionals are so nice to use because it really does give a lot of depth. And all of these products, I'll have a link to my blog with a listing of all these products, and you can purchase these in my online store at shallwestamp.com, and I'll have a link below the video as well. Okay, so we've got our elf. Let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on this, and I like to add enough dimensionals on this one. It's a little bit bigger, so I'll probably put 6 on here, 1 at the tip and then 2 on each side, and I think that should be enough to hold it. All right, we're going to go ahead and place him right about, we're going to put him right about there. That's cute. All right, and then the last thing that we're going to do, we're going to stamp the sentiment, and I have a strip of Whisper White, and we're going to stamp the sentiment using our shaded spruce. Why don't we do, what if we do red? Let's try red. Let's try red first. I've got the red over here, I think. Yep. Let's try red. Maybe pull a little bit of red in from those lights. So let's do the red and see. If we don't like that, then we'll just change it up. Red ink on that. And with our ink pads, they're foam, so you just want to kind of do a tap, tap, tap. And that will help keep your ink getting too much. I think that'll look good because that'll pull in some of the red, a little bit of red. All right, so we are going to, let me close up my green. We are going to use the detailed, lovely, I don't know why I want to say detailed, Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. So we're going to use one of these. I'm going to use this one here. And this you can punch in 3 different sizes. And so I'm going to punch this in. Okay, I'm going to trim this down. Sorry. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit because I don't want to have too much of a gap there. So let's just trim this down a little bit like that. And then we'll cut this one down. Okay, so we're going to slide that in and make sure that it's even, which it is. And we're going to punch it. And then this one, we're going to flip it around and do the same thing with that. And I always like to look, see how that's a little crooked, so I want to make sure that it's even, so I want to bring it in and kind of lay it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and punch that one. And now we have our label that we can place there. Move these out of the way. And we'll put some dimensionals on this as well. We'll put 3 on here. This might be a little wide, but it's okay. We'll just push it up on the card a little bit. Actually, I may put him like, nah, let's put it down here. I think it'll be fine. Probably a little too wide, but that's all right. We can cut it. Should be maybe a 1/2 inch instead of 3/4. But we'll tap it right over there on top of the trim. All right, there you go. Isn't that a cute card? And this is using the Don't Stop Believin' stamp set, and this is the little elf. All right, thank you so much. And if you have any questions or anything, please reach out to me. You can reach me at dawn@shallwestamp.com or visit my blog at shallwestamp.com. All right, have a great day.